Canada, China, Japan, just Italy. And so there's 11 different countries. The U.S. is actually part of that too. And so, it's an unofficial thing. You just go to all 11 countries and have a drink.
So it's like the feast around the world at Station Casino, or whatever it is now, Ameristar. Remember the buffet they used to have? Mm-hmm. It'd be like, Mexican, Italian, whatever. So it's like that, just on a grander scale, but with liquor.
Yes. So I am a planner. I am the type of person that you either love to go on vacation with me or abhor going on vacation with me.
I've heard that you are a planner from somewhere.
And so I may have a notebook that I literally have been doing research in, especially since we're only going for a day and solely going to drink. Been doing a lot of research on what the best drinks are. And
you drink regularly, once a month, twice a week?
Me?
4 times a day? What is your regular drinking habit?
4 times a day.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, it's for the podcast, right?
It's for the podcast.
Pre-pregnancy, I would say, several drinks a week. But ever since Henry's come along, it has been... my Mizzou days are long behind me, so that's why. We are splitting 11 drinks.
Okay.
That's yes. He's going to be helping.
He's going to help with yours and have one.
And so and we're doing it over
11 plus.
a 12-hour period. So I think we'll be
okay.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, people who drink regularly have a hard time making it because, the drinks, it's Disney, and so nothing there is cheap. And then just the drinks themselves, they're expensive. And thankfully, from all my research, they do make them fairly strong.
You're going to be, what, 20 each? $20 a cocktail?
It depends. So, for instance, this margarita that I've been looking at, it's like 18, I think. So, it looks pretty creamy in that picture, but that's the drink that we'll be having in Mexico.
Okay. So that's more like a slushy kind of thing.
It is. It is
that?
avocado.
Frozen margarita? When it's a slushy like that?
I don't honestly know if it is if it's considered a frozen one.
It looks like something you'd walk out of 7-Eleven with.
This one has avocado in it, agave, Midori, lime, agave syrup. Actually, I guess tequila and then agave syrup.
Sounds very, very sweet.
Agave and agave syrup?
2 ounces of white 100% agave tequila, and 1 ounce of agave syrup.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, so... for me, I feel like half the fun for vacation planning is, doing the planning, I guess. And so, but yeah, some people who are a little bit more free-spirited, they sometimes get a little bit more challenged. But
I was asking because I thought I heard something.
Hey, you want to kick us off?
Welcome, dear listener, to the next to the last audio-only episode of the Savor the Bird podcast. My name is Jonathan. Over here, you will hear Mr. W2. How do you do?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, especially for our Mother's Day episode. And speaking of Mother's Day, we have a very special guest. Once again, we have the magnanimous, wonderful Miss Katie.
hi.
And how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. Me and my 6 email accounts are y'all's biggest fans, so,
Right. Yeah. And we appreciate all of them. They make comments, and I go on there and I try to reply to them. I'm not sure your lovely husband has an account outside of YouTube, but I don't see his his comments on there.
I guess I need to.
It's all right. It makes it more authentic.
I'm slacking.
It makes it more authentic that way.
Can you tell I do it in batches? I mean, that you'll be sitting there and then all of a sudden you'll get 5 notifications.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And,
5.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I'll click over to Savor the Burn Instagram account, and all of a sudden there's like 15 notifications. Like, oh, I missed something. Then I'll take a screenshot. I'll send it to Wayne. I'll be like, hey, we have a stalker.
Or we'll be sitting here talking about it, and I'll go and I'll mention something, and then you'll go, "Did we reply?" Yes, we did. Okay, good.
Well, it's hard to pencil y'all in between readings of The Cat in the Hat and me mindlessly doom scrolling until I fall asleep. So
Right,
doom
doom scrolling. That's a nasty spiral of monotonous darkness that you can go right into. My doom scrolling anymore, thanks to my doctoring of my own algorithm, involves cat videos, goth chicks and fishnets, and other things like cocktails, whiskey, and gardening, and one more thing. What is it?
More God.
Yep,
God,
more
fishnets.
metal. Usually just metal stuff.
We all
It's,
have a type. It's all right.
It's good. It's good. It's a good mixture of things. It's for me. It's tailor made for me. That's what your algorithm is all for. I just realized one day if I don't want to see these things that keep pissing me off and like bumming me out, maybe I should just stop interacting with these things. Skip. As soon as I recognize what it is, I'll skip it and I'll hit like on something I do like.
I think it's quite fitting that our treat that we just had.
Man.
On a Mother's Day episode that we have Katie here with us was
Banana bread.
As we were upstairs getting some ingredients for the cocktail we made earlier, I thought, hey, I just thought of something. You got that banana bread? They'd be like, remember, like way when we first started, we first had the banana bread, and we were laughing about how funny it'd be if I went in there and be like, banana bread, while she's trying to sleep, and she screams, "Get the fuck out of my house!" So after you've had a couple of drinks, you still think that's funny, but you take half a second to sober up, and you realize that is not cool at all. That's somebody's safe zone. Their sanctum sanctorum. Their holy of holies. Like, you don't fuck with that. I'm just like, I'm gonna go like whisper.
I don't even mess with.
Right.
It's sacred in this house.
Yeah.
But it's good practice for when Henry's a little bit older and then he like slinks into the room and just, you feel
hear
a
his mouth
presence.
breathing?
Yep. You feel a presence and you look over and he's got
You're like,
these little
please,
Mommy.
You're like, please be my sleep paralysis demon. Please be my sleep paralysis demon. Nope, it's a kid. And it's mine.
and he needs his butt wiped. Yeah.
Oh, parenthood.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Wayne. No.
So that's the thing. We've talked on and off about Henry's progress, and I am so excited about how quickly he went from no interest in potty training to just like
in a matter of
full
days.
on. Yeah,
Like whatever it was that you told him.
he's doing awesome.
Clicked.
However, as of this evening, he's yelling from the top floor, "Daddy, I pooped. I need my butt wiped." So I'm walking up there. I'm like, big boys wipe their own butt.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, big boys wipe their own butt. I don't want to get poop on my hand.
That's
I was like,
idea.
boy, I don't either.
Yeah, you
I
learn.
don't want your poop on my hand.
You learn how to not get poop on your hand by getting poop on your hand by accident. That's why you always wash after you go poo poo. You go boom boom. You go bathroom. So we're gonna start the night off here
what are we drinking?
with some Howlerhead. It's a banana whiskey. It's a whiskey flavored, or it's a whiskey flavored banana. It's a banana flavored whiskey.
So the plan tonight is we're going to do a cocktail that I'm very excited about.
Me too.
This is one of the guys that I follow on.
Especially since it involves grape
Yeah.
and not fucking strawberry.
One of the guys that I follow on Instagram that does some really great looking cocktails and all that. he put out a video. He does a lot of stuff where he interacts with, I think it's his older son or whatever. But he does stuff where he has people just kind of toss him an ingredient. Sometimes it's
that guy.
Yeah.
With the ring that he's always,
yes.
snapping on
yes.
stuff.
But, so
slap him.
So his son started the video out in the kitchen, and he pulled a couple of the 6-ounce cans of the peanut butter Screwball whiskey, and then he walked out, and his dad is like on the boat at the dock, and he just throws them to him. He's like, "There you are," and he throws them to him. He's like, "What are you gonna make out of this?" And he goes, "Oh, all right, that's good." So he goes up on the bow of the boat, and he makes his cocktail, and it sounds really great. But one of the things we have not tried out of all this is in this cocktail is this Hollerhead banana whiskey. It's been sitting on our shelves for a while. You brought this over,
like within the first
probably
week or
back
two.
in April or March of last year.
When we started.
Early on, and we just haven't found anything to get to it. So we're gonna do a cocktail, but we thought because we haven't had it, let's try it neat and see what.
Yeah, let's see what it's got to offer on
banana whiskey tastes like by itself. And
I think I tried a shot or so when I first got it. I think Jennifer got it for me, at some point. It doesn't smell bad at all.
Okay, so what's the appropriate way to sniff? I mean, I even after listening to at this point scores of podcast episodes, like show me how I need to be scoping out the smells and all that.
Yeah.
Even for
all
something
we know
that's
is what we've learned as we've gone along.
Okay.
And we don't profess to be experts. We just call ourselves enthusiasts.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll coat the glass by swirling it around ever so slightly, and it probably only goes up about half, maybe 3/4. We'll just give it a little swirl around.
And it's really just to coat the glass, get those aromas going inside the tulip.
And so we can see if it's got any legs, like people do with wine.
There is legs.
Yeah.
They're thin legs, but it's got some legs.
It's all right. I don't care if they're thin or thick. I'm just happy to be here.
I mean, seriously, like the whiskey lingo just boggles my mind.
Like
and
what?
I mean, just like in what scenario can you ever say the younger it is, the hotter it is without Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator popping out of your pantry? I mean, it just
oh no. There's vanilla wafers and fucking macaroni in there. No. I didn't know I had Chris Hansen.
But so it's just it's been a journey trying to learn all the lingo.
Better. What do you mean by that? We're talking about whiskey, right?
This 12-year I had.
Okay, yeah.
What do you mean 8-year is better than 12 years?
Definitely a banana on the
nose.
Super banana. It's like what are those little the little candies that come in a cardboard box? It's got different. Are they Razzles?
The Laffy Taffies?
No, it's they've got like a little banana-shaped candy. Maybe
the Runts.
Runts, is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, so it smells like those banana pieces.
The banana
taste
Runts.
to me. And it somehow still smells like whiskey. I mean, it starts off...
Did I say 80 proof?
Yeah, 80 proof.
Okay.
80 proof. It says here on the back, I'll just go ahead and read it here. It says Howlerhead Monkey Spirit. Bananas gone crazy. Yeah, that's right. We said bananas blended with the finest Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey we could get our paws on.
Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky whiskey.
All
You've got a kick of oak, a whirl of sweetness, and some straight from the jungle banana rama goodness. Some people said we were monkeying around. They said convention is not to be trifled with. We heard them. There are whole cities full of people not trifling with convention. For the rest of us, welcome to the jungle.
All right. Well, the reason why I asked about the proof on it is there's something I'm getting on the nose that I at first thought it was kind of that high proof ethanol kind of a nose, but
it's not high proof, it's 80.
At 80 proof, it ain't high proof.
But sometimes 80 proof will sting the nose.
Well, this is maybe a good one for a wuss like me. So we'll start a little lower.
Yeah, so it smells like whiskey and it smells like banana. I think they hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yep.
What do you say we get it on the palate?
Do it.
All right. Cheers. All that bell ringing.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. Oh, shit. All right, so there's honey, there's oak,
Uh-huh.
there's banana.
Honey is the sweetness.
I didn't expect the honey because it said nothing about honey on the label. It did say oak. I was not expecting oak, but it's there lightly and mostly just banana, like artificial kind of banana. I don't know if they use artificial flavor or actual bananas in there, but not bad.
It says
Not bad.
natural banana flavor.
I mean,
Who knows what
it's
that-
it's
Okay.
fun. I mean, for a gimmick whiskey, it's fun. I might actually run out and buy the T-shirt. I mean, the label, the front label on it,
I was gonna
it
say.
looks cool. It's
Yeah.
got this screaming monkey wearing sunglasses. It's got
I'd wear that
a
T-shirt.
bandana looking, outline on it.
Dude, I think you nailed it on the head on that. This is Runts candy. The banana
I think
Runts
so.
candy.
And if I'm wrong, argue with me.
Or a banana Laffy Taffy.
Send us a banana Laffy Taffy. Yeah, if you've had it and you have a different thought as to what it tastes like to you, send us an email, info@savortheburn.com.
Or Jonathan at savortheburn.com or W2 at savortheburn.com.
Right there. You have
knows
a
it.
fan in-house. She knows.
I like it.
I almost spit my whiskey on that one. I like it. That was good. That was real good. So, walking into this Howler Head, Monkey Spirit, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Banana Flavored Whiskey, 80 proof, we know what we're getting into. The label tells us we know it's a gimmick. We're not expecting anything fancy.
I am baffled at the fact I had not looked closely at the label, and I am baffled. And baffled's not the right word. I'm in awe that this is actually, for a gimmick whiskey, to be classified as a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Does it say bourbon? Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with natural banana flavor. So this
That
was.
brings me back to that Truman Reserve. Like, can it be bourbon?
There's no reason why it can't be.
It's flavored.
If they are classifying it as a bourbon and then it's flavored, then it is flavored after its aging
Post
process.
bourbon.
Yep.
All right.
Kentucky means it was distilled, aged, and bottled in Kentucky. Straight.
Barreled.
Straight means it is at least 2 years aged. Bourbon means it's at least 51% corn. It was aged in unused new American oak barrel.
It was barreled at a certain proof. Was it?
And it has to go
There's
into
a
the
range.
It has to go into the barrel no more than 160 proof and at least 125 proof.
Okay. And aged for 3 years or 2 years?
Bourbon has no age requirement.
I thought it had to be aged at least 2 or 3 years.
Nope. But because it's a straight bourbon is a minimum of 2 years.
Okay. And that would be a young
Yeah.
whiskey.
Whereas
Young bourbon
bottled in bond
has to be 4.
is a minimum of 4 years, which is amazing when you think about the Henry
And Henry
McKenna.
yeah.
That is the world's
You ever-
oldest bottled in bond
I've
because it's
seen
at 10
people
years.
on YouTube lately throwing shade on Henry McKenna.
Dude, it's a $50 bottle. It's 10 years.
It's
and
it's less than 50
delicious.
sometimes. I think I found it at the that little liquor store in Blue Springs for, what was it, 39 maybe?
Oh, you should have bought a case of it.
Well,
at
I
that
didn't.
price.
I didn't know. Whatever. I think I sent you a picture of it, and you're like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, okay, maybe I should have heeded that "holy shit" warning or whatever. That's not a warning, but.
But yeah.
So you said you were in awe. To be in awe is to be.
well,
That's the wow of the wow.
that's just a lot of things going into something that is classified as a gimmick whiskey because it's a flavored whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting that from Screwball here. It says whiskey with natural flavors and caramel color.
Wait, what? Caramel what?
Color. Down here at the bottom. Whiskey with natural flavors, whatever the fuck that means, and caramel color.
And that's the other thing about it being a bourbon. Bourbon is no added artificial flavors or coloring.
Why is the Screwball out? Was that for another?
Screwball is for a cocktail.
That's for the cocktail we're making.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which the cocktail we're going to be making with this Hollerhead and the Screwball peanut butter whiskey is the PB&J cocktail. So it's going to be a 50-50 mix of Screwball whiskey, Hollerhead banana whiskey. Now that I've read the label, I need to update this. Hollerhead bourbon, banana bourbon whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey. And then we're going to... the rim of the glasses are rimmed with peanut butter and chopped nuts. But then after it's all done, we're going to splash it with a little bit of grape soda on the top.
That'll be interesting. I really dislike grape soda, so we'll see.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What is it about grape soda you don't like?
It's disgusting. I feel like I have the same level of affinity for grape soda as you do with strawberries. It's so artificial. I mean,
See, now go back to it. Like maybe I should have got the strawberry
Well,
soda.
well, she doesn't like strawberry soda either.
hello. Have we not been together for 13 years? I do enjoy strawberry soda. I mean, any fruit flavored soda is not my go-to. Like, I'm just
Name
a
a thing
straight
of
kind of,
Pop-Tarts. Strawberry Pop-Tarts is
random.
like your jam.
Yes. Okay.
Girl, sing. I don't fuck with strawberry Pop-Tarts either.
But yeah. So, I mean, but hey, I'm willing to give it a try. I'm up late just for this. So let's make it a
So
party.
on a 1 to 5, what would you give the nose on this?
Oh, goodness. I would say in my very educated synopsis, let's go with a 4. I mean, the bottle says what you're going to... Yeah.
Direct and to the point?
It ain't lying.
You already got yours?
Oh, I haven't written anything down.
Well, I gave it a 3.5.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Girl, same.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it says everything that it is. There's no lie detected in here. I didn't pick up on any kind of honey, any kind of oak. It just smelled like whiskey, and it smelled like banana, and that's really all I expected it to smell like. So, and it smelled good. Like sometimes they just smell like trash. So I gave it a better than average score right there at 3.5. And is that your reasons too?
Yep.
Very cool. How about the palate, Miss Katie? Once you got it on the mouth there, was it watery thin? Was it too thick? Was it?
The honey coming through was
So it came through for you too?
It did. I didn't taste any of the other. I mean, I tasted the banana, I tasted the honey, but that was about the extent of my palate for that
oak.
one. I didn't pick
No
up
kind
the
of
oak.
oakiness.
No.
Okay.
But again, we're talking about a very inexperienced palate. So
That's all right.
I would say like let's do a 3.5. A 3.5.
How about you, Mr. W2?
Yeah, 3 3/4.
Okay. I gave it the same 3.5. So
It's what I was expecting.
it was.
It had the banana flavor in there. There was nothing necessarily off-putting about it. Yeah, the honey presents itself really, really strong on the palate, and I got a little bit of the oak on that as well.
How about the finish?
Just a solid 3.
3 even?
Yep.
I gave it a 3.5. I kept it at 3.5 because even though it was somewhat of a short finish as far as the banana, the honey, and the oak went, the sweetness still lingers. Even now that we've drained our drams a long time ago, I still have the sweetness on the palate. How about you, Miss Katie?
Do 3 1/4.
I like it. That's pretty cool. Now, when it comes to bottle presentation, what do you think of it? It's got the neck tag. It's got like a maple kind of topper, composite cork. Mm-hmm. It's a standard kind of flask style bottle. It's got I like the label on the front with the kind of bandana-esque looking.
I dig the label on the front.
It's got some interesting. It's got a fun little story on the back of it, but I know not everybody's going to see things the way I see them, but who knows? Maybe.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 4. 4 even.
I gave it 3 3/4.
So it sounds like we both liked it. How about you, Miss Katie?
3.5.
All right. Was there anything you liked or disliked about the bottle presentation?
No, I mean, I do like the kind of bandana-esque look to the label, and I mean, it's cool. You all said that, if you had that on a shirt,
Yeah.
mentally making notes for Christmas. And so, yeah, I mean, it's cool.
Well, I did the quick math on yours, added all of your scores up together, and divided that by 2, and I came up with 7.1.25, 7 1/8. So that's Miss Katie's. How about you, Mr. W2? What did yours end up being?
Even 7.
7 even. So mine was a 7 1/4. So I liked it more than all y'all.
Maybe some of it was the anticipation, since it's been sitting down here for a year plus,
Maybe, yeah. I have not been looking forward to trying this. This is much better than I remember it being, and it's much better than I thought it would be.
All right, set those expectations low, and
yeah. There's a term for that. It's under promise, over deliver. Is what it is. Yep. Yeah, it's what I try to do with everything I do.
Okay.
Probably like what you do with all of your baking stuff. It's like, oh, it's not that great this time. It's kind of crumbly. I don't know. Yeah. But then we get it. There's flawless. There's nothing wrong with it. We're all happy. Well, what did you have to say about this banana bread tonight?
Well, I was going to say, the whole reason why you started getting treats every podcast, right? So the first time you came over was really the second time that I met you. The first time that I met you, you were super kind and approached me at the merch table.
I remember that.
Yeah, and you with your whited out irises and everything came up and you said hello. And I always appreciated that, because working at the merch table, a lot of times just kind of, get disappeared, and you just don't get bothered. And so Wayne obviously is out there, doing loading, schmoozing, wooing the ladies, He
does that quite well.
Hands off, ladies. I'm sleeping with the bassist. So, and so a lot of times, it was just kind of me hanging out at the merch table, and you approached and introduced yourself, which was the first time that any other person from any other band has ever introduce themselves.
Really?
Yes. And usually, some people will be sauntering up and, hey, can I exchange a shirt for one of the, and I'm like, okay. You're going to have to talk to another band member about that. I don't do tradesies. And so yeah, I mean, I always appreciated that. But the second time you came over, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely going to have to, the house is probably a mess, because when is it not when you have a toddler? So Right. I was like, we definitely, need to Betty Crocker this shit up a little bit. So, cookies, I think, were the dessert of the evening.
Yeah, it was like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, and it was just a brainstorming session. Y'all were sitting on the couch, actually. You didn't even have the studio set up yet.
And little did I know, he had a recorder going. His phone recording.
Yeah, I had the voice recorder going on my phone.
idea.
And
wait a minute, is Kansas a one-party record state?
I don't know, because I told him afterwards. I think I just sent it to you.
You did,
and I said,
and I'm like, well, let me see if I can mix this up, and
so we did. So we did. So it went from an idea, a concept, pretty much, to something that we thought, maybe this could work, because it's just two guys hanging out talking about whiskey. And what we like, what we don't like, maybe it would be interesting enough for somebody else to listen to.
So cookies were that night, and then the next time you came over, we had just had fish, and so the house, in my opinion, reeked of fish. And I was like, "There is no way. This is now his second time coming over. There is no way that I'm going to be having my house smell like a fishery." So I think that night I may have actually baked banana bread to specifically cover the smell of the fish.
Okay, all right.
And, they always say that, do things, 3 times and then it's a habit. The next time you came over, I think we also had fish that evening. And so I also decided to bake something that night to cover the smell. And then at that point, it was a habit. So
maybe the two of you had talked about it quite a bit. And like, you being insecure about the smell of the house and you talking about how much you just love salmon. And so like anytime I come over, if it smells like salmon, that's just what it smells like because Wayne's got to have a salmon every day or every week. So maybe now, so now that I'm reverse engineering things over the course of a year, it's all starting to come together. It was a coordinated attack.
Yep. And now all record about 4 feet away from Ozzy's litter box. So
that's fine.
I can't control the smells
there
down
have been
here.
Some adjustments to the palate from time to time, depending on how clean it is or how often he's going while we're trying to record. But yeah, so what? It's fine. You picking up anything off your empty drams? This is something that we've noticed lately. At the end of it, after it's empty and it's pretty much all just dry, maybe there's a drop or two in there, we can smell like other things like that have been noticed on the professionals, what they've noticed.
I'm not getting the granola and the cereal.
You're not?
No.
I'm not either.
A lot of bananas still.
Yes, banana and oak.
I feel like maybe it's just the power of suggestion, but I feel like I'm picking up some of that oak now.
Which is wild. It's just, and it's not the kind of oak you want to smell. It's just saturated, like just old wet oak.
Yeah, we've had so many that had no cereal grains whatsoever.
Yeah.
No,
and it says it in the notes. It's like how are they getting this?
And then we're talking, and we're talking 10, 15 minutes with an empty glass in front of us, and then just randomly we go,
yeah,
that's.
Either it's habit of just picking it up and
oatmeal.
smelling it.
That's grape nuts.
I do this thing where I have to sniff everything all the time. And I just, it's like weird. Yeah, it just smells kind of like, chemical wet oak, banana.
Should we get into this cocktail?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And then as we drink the cocktail, maybe we'll share some Mama's Day stuff.
Yes.
Sounds good.
All
right. So we've got ourselves a cocktail. And what's it called?
This is the PB&J cocktail.
How'd you put this thing together? Let's do the fancy slideshow.
It's 50-50 Screwball peanut butter whiskey and Howlerhead Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey. Banana flavored.
So you mix it.
And then a splash of grape soda on top.
Yeah, you mix it 2 ounces of banana whiskey, 2 ounces of the peanut butter whiskey, put it over ice, shook the shit out of it, poured it over 1 solid ice cube, garnished it with a couple of grapes.
Rimmed the glasses with peanut butter and some chopped nuts.
There's a joke to be made there. We're going to leave that alone.
Oh, I was going to go for it.
It's
always a good night when I get nuts on my rim.
Hey-oh! Family show. There she goes ruining it. Second time on the podcast. It's already toast. And then you topped it off with a little bit of grape soda.
Yeah.
We picked up the Oh-So grape from Cracker Barrel. But it turned the whole damn thing...
It did.
Grape.
Yep.
As far as how it looks. I thought maybe it would just kind of float on the top.
Well, and that's the crazy thing,
You never know how it's going to work out until you see it.
My mind said you need the spoon and to try to diffuse it, just to float on top. But the video that I watched, the Instagram video that I watched, he's on a boat. He's not doing anything special. He doesn't have a bar spoon or anything like that. He's pouring just the grape soda right on top of the cocktail that he just made. And yeah,
just like what we've done with ginger beer, or
so it is what it is,
or club soda. or whatever. But yeah,
Did it float in the video? Or
I doubt it. Because here it sinks.
It didn't do this.
Here it sinks, which is totally different than I expected. But
It's all right.
yeah.
cheers,
Happy Mother's Day,
gentlemen.
Miss Katie.
Thank you, thank you.
Cheers. And happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Have a problem with those nuts on your mouth?
Yep.
Huh. What do you think? I'm not sure I'd give it your 3-word synopsis.
Well, I don't know if I'll give it a 0.
No. It's no Navigator. Presentation, though. It's right up there for me. I can give that a numero cinco.
Yeah, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
This is a bust.
Bust, you think?
At the very least, I mean, I already kind of told you about the grape soda piece, but it's interesting.
I'm going to try the grape soda straight. Do a
straight as
shooter of
possible.
it, see what it's like. Jennifer says this is her favorite grape soda.
That's a good grape soda.
As compared to Crush grape soda, it's got somewhat of a botanical kind of twist to it, I would say, but whatever. I'm just a grape soda enthusiast.
I don't like this cocktail at all.
Not at all?
At all.
All right, well, let's...
Yeah, I'm just going to come straight out and say that.
On the nose, though.
I mean, on Instagram, I was like, okay, let's give it a whirl.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, man, we should have stuck with the banana old fashioned that we originally had talked about.
Yeah. What does it take for a banana old-fashioned?
Not a lot. A clean glass.
With no peanut butter and no grapes?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sweet.
Revisit.
I like sweet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The soda does, I think.
That's part of the reason you've been married so long.
I mean, peanut butter on the nose for days.
Yes, but is it the cocktail or is it the
Oh, it's the rim.
And I'm losing nuts off of it as we speak.
So if you don't like it at all,
This is awful.
so if you're calling it awful, and ain't nobody gonna finish it, I probably rated it too high.
Oh, I'm going to finish it. But it's awful.
Okay.
I mean, I think the silence is probably speaking volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, you say it best when you say nothing at all.
I mean, if you like your cocktails that taste like a loaded diaper, this is your cocktail. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, with the grape soda, maybe this is the navigator of cocktails.
Yeah. So what goes into the
Bananas old fashioned?
bananas old fashioned? Besides a clean glass.
Holler,
Just for curiosity's sake.
Hollerhead, Demerara simple syrup, rich syrup, excuse me, chocolate and orange bitters, and then garnish with you can garnish with a lot of different ways. You can hydrated orange wheel, or you can do a swath of a
Certainly
fresh
not
orange.
banana peel.
no
Certainly
banana
not a
peel.
swath of banana peel. That would be...
I've seen a couple videos where they've actually done a banana slice
Uh-huh.
and then hit it with put a little bit of the Demerara sugar on there and hit it with the torch to
Oh, yeah. I
Caramelize
bet that
it.
would be... I bet that would be amazing.
Well, I'm up past 10 o'clock. I'm down to party if you are. So if you want to, things are getting wild. So if you want to do a bananas, I'll give it a try.
I guess it's a party.
Now, there won't be cocktail presentation. Well, I guess there'll still be cocktail presentation, but I mean, you won't have the
I mean,
banana.
I'm gonna be a poop because my
Yeah, we're not going to freeze the coop.
or an ass because
Not going to freeze the
the
glass.
glasses aren't frozen. But yeah, well,
Let's do it.
let's rock and roll.
Let's try it out.
Bananas.
It smells like bourbon.
Well, we might have ourselves a winner.
Hot dog, we have a wiener.
Red Rocket. So after that abysmal
Woo!
experience
Good
of a
night.
peanut butter and jelly cocktail, which I didn't see coming. I really thought it was going to be good. We had to go back to the drawing board, and good thing W2 has a instant fucking recall on his memory banks here. We ended up with a banana old fashioned, the Howlerhead banana old fashioned.
Hey, real quick before we get into that, Katie had a small little taste of the Screwball,
the
peanut butter.
My
whiskey.
first ever.
What do you think?
It was good. I see what the hype is about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not maybe would be a everyday for me, but I mean it was solid. Mm-hmm. I understand why people gravitate towards it. So
this bottle is definitely in danger of a bottle kill moment.
Yeah, maybe that happens sometime soon. All right, well, we're gonna try this one more again. Happy Mother's Day, Miss Katie.
Thank you.
And to all the mothers out there, and Savor the Burnland and beyond. I got to tell you,
right off the top,
10 times better than. I mean, I know it's unfair to compare, but it's really hard not to compare to that other one, even though we put all that work into it, especially you. Yeah, right off the top, you got banana, you got the citrus, you've got
the orange bitters,
chocolate, the chocolatey bitters.
Chocolate comes through.
The chocolate screams on the palate.
Again, from someone who doesn't gravitate towards whiskeys, like this actually feels like really easy sipping for me. So I don't know again if it would be a go-to cocktail for me, but in the whiskey realm, I feel like this would be one that I'd be able to drink.
Yeah, on the nose it's good. On the palate it's really good. Super smooth.
Yeah.
As you would expect with any 80 proof, but any other 80 proof would give you a bit of a bite. You know, like with a sour mash. Like I said earlier, the who was it? Maker's Mark. You know, even if we used old Jim Beam Black Label.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
Right.
I was going to ask if
Had
that
to make the
come
noise.
up.
Whew, can't believe it took me that long.
Does it feel good to finally get it off your chest?
I feel right. I feel right now that I've said it.
And it's sunk in that actually in mid-June, we're going to visit the James Beam.
You're gonna visit it, yeah, and hopefully you end up with a cool bottle or 5. I don't know what you're gonna end up with. You come home with a white label, I'll be surprised. Like, you gotta try this. I'm like, I cut my teeth on that. What are you talking about? My dad used to rub that on my gums. Come on.
I'm pretty certain, with very, very great certainty, I'm not coming home with a white label.
I believe you.
Is it a distillery that they do certain bottles when you visit, similar to like Buffalo Trace, or what's the...
That I don't know. Faith hasn't told me anything about that, but they do have distillery-only releases. While Faith and Tim were there, they did a Knob Creek 18 side-by-side with the Jim Beam Lineage bourbon, which was a 15. And she said, and the Lineage, she sent me a picture of, it is in a crazy cool full wooden box that has like a little cutout window so you can see part of the bottle. Very ornate bottle inside the box. It's a distillery only. It's a $250 bottle, but it comes in this. There's a leather handle on top of it. She said, without even comparing, that Lineage 15 smoked the Knob Creek 18. So it was
That's
so
what the Lineage will look like. It'll be in a wooden box with a leather handle.
Oh, wow.
And that is there is no second market for that of any kind. That is a distillery only bottle.
It's in a box with a window on it. It's got a window, man.
For the podcast.
It's for the podcast. That's what we say.
So have you given Wayne a list of all the bottles you potentially would like to obtain while we go
White
distiller?
like all of them. He's already talked about Knob Creek. We've got a Knob Creek here that he just picked up. It's a store pick. Gomer's Fine Wine and Spirit. Knob Creek Single Barrel Select Bourbon. So I'm looking forward to trying that one out. But, I mean, that's a Beam Suntory offering. And it's not just Jim Beam specific. I mean, if he goes in there and he finds a little note, or if he finds a Booker's that's...
A little book?
Your little book, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do so much. It's weird. And they might even have a Japanese whiskey or two there. Wouldn't they? I'm guessing, because they're owned by a Japanese
Suntory
thing. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe not. I'd be interested to. I'm looking forward to hearing the stories.
I would be surprised if they did.
Really?
But, well, pardon me, yeah. Even though that they are owned by, it is now the Beam Suntory distillery, part of me hopes that it's kind of like Duvel, which is a global / European brewing company that came in and purchased Boulevard. I love Kansas City Boulevard. They were purchased 10-ish years ago, 8-ish years ago by Duvel. Duvel has been a very hands-off, and historically, all of their other breweries that they have purchased, they've always been very hands-off. They purchase distilleries that are already successful. They came in, made Boulevard an offer. They accepted. They are the bigger parent that says, here's your allowance, go forth and do something with it. And so Boulevard has taken that. They've expanded their brew house. They have increased their production, added additional expressions to their lineup, etc.
Is it because of them we have the chocolate every year on Valentine's Day?
I think the first 1 or 2 years that they did that was pre-acquisition of Duvel. But Duvel has allowed them to expand and do more.
Okay.
Been very hands-off, so Boulevard has been able to just do what Boulevard has been doing.
That's really cool.
The contrast of that is your InBev, which purchased Budweiser, and I don't know a whole lot about the inner workings of that, but historically, some of the other smaller breweries that they have purchased, they have just gobbled up and taken full control of, and they haven't. It's not the same product. I'm not a Budweiser fan, so it's not fair for me to say. But those that I know that are Budweiser fans feel that it's not the same product that it once was. So
all right.
The InBev global purchase is a very different experience that I feel that Duvel and Boulevard. But anyway,
How do we get on that topic?
I have no idea.
Oh, we're talking about Beam Suntory.
Oh Beam Suntory.
Okay,
So my hope is that in the big scheme of things, Suntory came in to partner and to help broaden what they can
help Beam
do.
become more than just their white label, which I'm sure they were before they came along.
But at the same time, letting them just be Jim Beam. I think that is the case. I really feel that is the case, and I feel like everything that I've seen come from those, and especially like looking at all the Booker lines, the Baker lines. That Baker 7 was amazing.
Only because it was 8.5 year age. Because I mean, anybody that's been in the whiskey guild or whiskey tribe or whatever it was, it said like the longer it sat in that barrel, the better it was. Like if you can find something closest to the 9 year mark, the better it's going to be.
And it's crazy because every other distillery, every other expression that we've had, if there's an age statement on it, it's a definitive. This is a 10 year. This is a 7 year. Whatever it is. I find that so interesting that Baker's, they have it listed as minimum 7 year, and then you look on the band, they actually put the actual age on there.
Month. It could be 7 year, 3 month.
The bottle that we have is 8.5.
Hold it over me. Ah.
But it was so good. But it was an 8.5. It's the Baker 7, but it's actually 8.5 year age statement.
Yeah, and even Mike at the Whiskey Snug, like he was a little confused on that. Like, what's the age statement on that? And he's like, well, it's 7. It's Baker 7, so it's a 7-year bourbon. I'm like, no, you got to read the neck.
Yep.
Got to read the neck. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. So we taught him. We learned him a little something.
It's the only one. Yeah, Snug. It's the only one that we've come in contact with that part of the name is actually just suggests the minimum
age statement. Yeah.
So you will not find a Baker's that is less than 7 years.
So long story short, Henry's car seat takes up about a seat and a half. So if you want to come on the Louisville trip with us, you just let us know. As long as you can deal with Jonathan for 4 hours straight. Yep. You're welcome to come with us.
Does your son like peanut butter?
He does.
All right, so this old fashioned fixed the peanut butter and jelly cocktail
infinitely better
problem, and we didn't even know that was going to be a problem. We were stoked about that cocktail, and it just turned out awful. Even though somehow a couple of us ended up right at 5. Wayne ended up right at a 5. I had 5.5, and Miss Katie had 4 3/4.
I feel like those are very, very gracious scores.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I still don't quite know where that cocktail went wrong. You know, I mean, again, me being a little biased because I dislike grape soda.
Yeah.
You know, but like for those who do enjoy grape soda, like where did it really go wrong? I still am a little lost.
Maybe if it weren't peanut butter whiskey and it were just actual peanut butter that ended up in the shaker. I don't know. Spitballing here. But as far as this Howlerhead banana old fashioned goes, Mr. W2, what would you give it on the nose?
I gave the nose 3 3/4.
I give it a 4. How about you, Miss Katie?
I ended up giving it a 4.
Very cool. How about the palate?
That one I did a 4 1/4.
4 1/4. How about you, W2?
Solid 4.
4 even. That's exactly what I gave it. I gave it a solid 4. The nose carried through to the palate carried through to the finish, and that's why I gave it another 4.
It was a great old fashioned with a little bit of a banana sitting on top of it.
Yeah. And it wasn't like a harsh chemically banana.
Yeah.
Like what we were talking about, the Runts candy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes artificial banana flavoring can be just plain awful.
Mm-hmm.
And this Howlerhead turns out to be pretty versatile. Mm-hmm. More versatile than I thought it was.
So to be very honest, a lot of times Wayne asked me to try cocktails and I turn him down because generally, again, whiskey is not my thing and it all just ends up tasting like gasoline at some point. But with this recipe that you're using, I mean, is this, you think, you know, if you were to swap out another spirit, like, do you feel like this cocktail would taste relatively-ish the same? Like, I appreciate that there's no burn, you know, it's very smooth. And so do you feel like if you were to replace it with another cocktail, that this particular old-fashioned recipe would be something that I may enjoy?
The answer is yes. It's the exact same recipe that I do for all of my old fashions. However, this is an 80 proof whiskey versus most of the whiskeys
90 plus.
are 90 plus. And then due to the podcast, we've kind of come to enjoy those that are 100 plus. So,
because what we aim for in the podcast is we like for the spirit to have center stage.
Yep.
So if we use Howlerhead, it has to be center stage. And all the flavors that were added to it and whatever influences those are the backup dancers. You know, those are the backup vocals.
And as we've got into it and kind of done some side-by-side type comparisons, we've also learned that typically the higher proofed versions of a lower proofed version offers a lot more of the flavor. It may be a little bit hotter / warmer, that Kentucky hug that we've talked about. But when it comes down to getting into the actual individual flavors of it, we feel that the higher proof gives a little bit more concentration to those flavors.
So this might be a good base for me then, that if you are trying to kind of expose me to a variety of whiskeys,
I'll bring
that
some
this
Jim Beam
might this cheers. This might be a good base then for me to kind of use as a springboard to go into some other things, because I feel like this is very drinkable. It's smooth, and like some of the cocktails that you've had me take nips off of, like I can't feel my gums for the next 5 minutes, so I just feel like
Like that.
What have you given her? Oh my goodness.
No, nothing that
it's Wayne level drinks.
nothing we
It's
haven't
Wayne
tried.
level drinks. I'm always
Okay.
behind him, and I know that it's age before beauty, but like seriously, like he has always just been multiple steps ahead of me. I mean,
She's
when we
not
first
saying something, but she's saying something.
when we first started dating, he was very big into like IPAs and things like that. And I was just really kind of getting my footing in the beer world. And so, I was still drinking Boulevard Wheats all the time. And you would be drinking like these, like really just like dank,
Barrel-aged
like
stouts.
well, I was very down with about barrel aged stouts, but just the ones that you feel like you're chewing on a car air freshener, and so it's just layer upon layer of just hops and all that. And so I finally got to the point where I was at least enjoying some of them, and then he left me in the dust, and then just decided to forget
Sours,
beer.
baby.
Well,
Sours.
yes, and then there was the sours, which actually I was very quick to catch on to. But then you left me in the dust for whiskey, and it's just been really hard to kind of catch up, especially again since I've been pregnant and then just have not been drinking often even after because of the nursing and all of that. So it's been very hard to kind of catch up, and it's
knew it.
like just
I'm a
when we
bad
got
influence.
to the
I'm ruining the marriage.
just when we got to the beer piece, now you're off on a whole nother endeavor. So, but baby steps, right? Baby steps.
But he's not
So-
off of the beer,
No.
because I find beers when I'm out of town and I bring them to him. I'm like, hey, have you seen this before? Never heard of it. Okay, and then next thing he knows, here it is in front
Wally,
of him.
what?
Yeah, Wally, what? Yeah. So, yeah, that's good times.
We're gonna share that one.
Good.
I hope I don't share it. I'll end up with a headache. So back to the Howlerhead Banana Old Fashioned on the finish. I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4 even because for me, the nose, the palate, the finish, everything carried through. It was everything I expected it to be.
3.5.
3.5. So the so for me the everything that was on the nose and the palate carried through to the finish, and it was a it was a sharp cutoff, but still I'm left with a little bit of the banana sweetness, so to speak. Is there any reason you dropped it a half point from 4 to 3.5 from palate to finish?
Not really, other than I just felt
It
like
just didn't wow you.
yeah,
That's fine.
To me, the finish just kind of fell off, and there wasn't anything. Yeah, there was no wow.
And how about you?
Finish 4.25, I think. 4 and a quarter.
4.25 is not
so-
bad.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good finish.
Yeah, that's
Again,
where you were on the
especially-
palate.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering that I'm pretty green in this regard. I think.
Yeah,
it
same
was
here.
Very,
we're
very
a
similar.
year into it, but
I really
that
feel
doesn't really mean a lot.
the between the orange bitter and the orange swath that we did for garnish, that citrus component to me helps push it up a little bit.
Yeah, thanks to you swathificating it on the rim of the glass before dropping it in there, it helped out. It brought the citrus not to the forefront, but definitely it's in the party, right there on the nose and on the palate. On the finish, it's like hey, singing Limp Bizkit in the background. How about cocktail presentation?
I gave it a 4.5.
4.5. I low scored it at a 4.
Oh well, with that preface. I gave it a 3.5.
She gave it
Sorry.
3.5.
Sorry.
I mean, it's yeah.
I mean,
This
again,
was an impromptu
Impromptu.
Yes.
Just happened
cocktail.
quick. There was no barrel-aged cherry. There was it didn't get smoked. There was
Yeah.
100.
It is what it
there
is.
was no banana chip with the brown sugar torched with a toothpick in it or whatever.
That may be a 5.
That would be a 5. For me, that would be a 5.
If I'm brown sugar torching a banana slice.
For Miss Katie, that might bring it from a 3.5 to a 4.
now, okay, I know that you are an artiste, but again, I'm not usually down here for these conversations. So, my presentation I felt was good.
It was good.
It was
It
good.
was good. It was not great. That's why you ended up
His
with a
words,
3.5
not
on
mine.
that. But I mean, all that added together, divided by 2, you ended up with a total score of 8.
Yes, and
An
I really
8 for a cocktail at a 1 to 10. Come on,
yes,
that's
yes,
good.
and I
good.
appreciate the very gentlemanly gesture of presenting a calculator for me to divide
Yeah.
16 by 2.
Look,
but I am
didn't-
not.
I didn't know.
I am not.
I'm a little
as
past whiskey
intoxicated.
30, darling. So I'm just like, I'm gonna try to help her as much as I
Yes,
can.
so I
helped her.
very-
As I would want to be
Yes,
helped. I
contrary to
don't know,
popular
math.
belief, I can divide. So yes, we ended
Yeah.
up with a solid 8. So
Very cool. Yeah, so like when she handed the phone back, it was a 16. I'm like, no, you got to divide in the thing. I'm gonna like mansplain it to her while you're talking. Anyway, so how about you? What did your end up total score end up being there, Mr. W2?
7.875.
So all right, 7
7 eighths.
All right, that's damn near an 8, and I gave it an 8 even. So we had different mathifications to come up to an 8 between me and Miss Katie here, but
Made it
you
happen.
almost ended up at the same conclusion we did. Usually we're about a half a point off, so now we're at an eighth of a point off. So that's how interesting.
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes that this was an impromptu cocktail, yet
It was. Had there been any
World's
level
different.
of pre-planning on this, all scores would have been a 5 on cocktail presentation.
Yeah, I mean, if this would have been first choice, we would have absolutely brown sugar torched those banana slices.
And it may have been the first choice, first idea. If I said it once, I said it at least 50 times. My grandma said an Irishman's first choice is his best choice. Maybe we should have just gone with that.
Maybe.
Instead of getting all gussied up on the guy with the clinkety rings and on the boat. You're like, hey, Dad, if you make a
It
cocktail out of this,
It looked and
it's all
sounded
right.
good.
It really did. It really did. It just didn't turn out
It
that bad.
felt really
or that good.
short.
That's all right. Whatever.
You win some, you lose some.
Yep.
Absolutely. We don't lose some a lot here on the Savor the Burn podcast, but this time we definitely do.
I feel like this is the first time we've lost one.
Yeah.
We've had cocktails that have been kind of varying degrees, but yeah, that one just felt like a complete bust.
Yeah. So that'll be the lowest scoring cocktail we've done here on the podcast. But let's see, I've had a 15. I've had 2 15s, I think. Or a 15 and a 12. I don't remember what the Scotch sour, I think the first with the Highland Park.
Yep.
I was like, holy shitballs, this is amazing. And then after that was the Tennessee Amaretto Bourbon Sour.
That's about one cocktail.
That was a 15. That's going to be a bottle kill episode, I think. We're going to end up.
I think it should be.
I think we're going to end up doing some bottle kill episodes one day.
I mean, what are you all doing after this?
I don't know. I'll probably listen to what he's got over here on audio, and we'll talk about the band. We'll talk about the podcast, and after about an hour of me sitting around trying to sober up, I'll go home. It's fine. It's only 1:45
12:45.
in the afternoon.
12:45.
Huh?
Huh?
What
What?
day is it? Yeah. Do you have any, Mr. W2? Do you have any anything to say about Mama's Day?
I'm very thankful
Yeah.
for mamas.
For your mama and for the mama in your household.
Thanks.
I'm very thankful for the mama in your household too. For every episode of the podcast that we do,
You're so eloquent.
it's fine. It's fine.
I'm surprised you didn't say, I like her.
Right. Had I asked him, are there any final words you have for this episode of the Mother's Day podcast? You're like,
I like it.
I like mamas. I like what makes them mamas. But Yeah, we're actually, we've talked about this 100 times if we talked about it once. We're 100% thankful that you handle little man with the bathing and the putting to the bed and sitting with him, to kind of calm him down after bath time. And, just so we can come down here and do our guy thing and drink whiskey and, inflate our egos and say, it's for the podcast and high five and have good times with it. We are both 100% thankful for that.
You bet. You bet.
Mm-hmm. And 100% thankful for the unexpected on my end of the table. Anyway, he probably expects it because he's W2. I'm trying to throw him under the bus. It's not working. But yeah, it's just every time that we get sweet treats sent our way, we're stoked and we're happy for it. You downplay it more often than not, but we're definitely happy for it.
Well, I appreciate that you always say that it is never expected, always appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm.
But yeah, anytime we cook fish, you bet that I'm going to have some sweet treats baking in that oven.
So next time you're at the store, get fish. Have it on a Wednesday.
Yeah, but that's been one of the kind of unexpected aspects of being a mom. Like I kind of knew that I always enjoyed taking care of people, but it wasn't until Henry came along that I really understood that is just what I kind of feel like my life calling is. Between my job that I have, I take care of people in my job. I take care of people in our house. Like I like taking care of you all with the food. So like I like taking care of people. So
and when we have parties and people over,
right?
You love Back to the Planner, and you love
going out of town,
making the whole table plan of.
In another life, I would be a caterer, like a party planner. Like I love parties, and that was one of the
life.
things.
She says like her life's over. Bless her little heart.
Yeah, well,
have another party.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, catering independently probably doesn't have a pension that goes along with it. So I got to stick to kind of what I'm doing right now. But I enjoy hosting. It is something that I enjoy thoroughly. So, when 51 rolls around, if you are interested in a party, you just let me know.
I'm going to be interested in a party.
Okay.
By then, y'all be in a whole damn new house.
Yeah, maybe. We're hoping so. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Or like, you think you can have the bandwidth to handle the whole hunting, the moving, like the settling down in a new house, and then all of a sudden it's party time?
Oh yeah.
I honestly would be surprised if we end up moving before the summer. I mean, we have so much to do before that. So
I know.
Well, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to find the time to do those things. I mean, you have a youngin' who requires a lot of our time, and rightfully so. And
job.
We want him to, enjoy his weekends instead of just kind of parked in front of the iPad. So, I mean, we go out and do things and we have fun, and that's okay. But, it does delay some of the other aspects.
You got a heart in a damn coloring book.
Yes.
I do.
Has that been on the podcast
parade of the
officially
hearts.
yet?
Not really.
No, we haven't really talked about that. Yeah, you've got a heart from the parade of hearts, entered and submitted and accepted and on display.
It is on display at 179th, just east of Flum, at the Overland Park
Arboretum
and Botanical
Garden.
Okay.
Garden.
I've been there. It's a wonderful place.
I have not been there, and that's the thing. When I got the email about that, I'm like, I have no idea where this fucking place is.
Okay.
But as I've mentioned that to people, everyone I've mentioned it to has been like, "Oh yeah, that's a great place. Take Henry. It's awesome."
Have they mentioned the Butterfly Festival?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. And
who was it that sponsored your heart?
Dimensional Innovations.
Oh, very cool.
A couple weeks ago, we got to do a artist sneak peek event down at the American Royal, and they had all 100 hearts on display, which was really cool. It also felt a little like a cheat because instead of hunting them and seeing them out in their places, we saw them
Which
all
we do.
at once.
We make a big ordeal
Yeah.
out of it. We go and we make these day-long trips where we see, 10 to 20 hearts. And so it's a family endeavor. So, yeah, for other people, it might have been really nice. But for us, when we make such a religious attempt to see all the hearts, it was a little weird to kind of see them, especially since Henry wasn't there. So we'll be making an endeavor to,
But it was also a date opportunity.
It was. We utilized a babysitter for the first time. So
Ethan came over and
Mm-hmm.
played video games and watched videos and hung out with Henry. And
So he probably didn't even know you were
ate
gone.
pizza.
Mm-hmm.
He probably didn't. Yeah, I think they had a great time. They had pizza. They played some video games. He brought his Switch over, so they played a little Mario Kart, which then I think just quickly became let's watch PJ Masks or whatever it was. But yeah, they had a great time. We did that. We then went to dinner, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. See, I didn't know you guys actually had a little bit of alone time.
Yeah, it
How
was
long
the
has it
first
been?
time, a very, very long time.
4 years?
That was that whiskey river cocktail.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to reverse engineer the whole damn night. Well, except for parts of it, I don't need to reverse.
Well, did you notice that the thing that he recalled about the date night was the cocktail and
No. It was the togetherness time. Like
Sure.
to talk about all the hearts in one place.
Sure. We were at dinner and he
where I
just kept on.
started.
Yes, we were at dinner and all he kept on saying was, "I gotta
There's
show
the ball.
Jonathan
Take
this.
it. Run
I
with
gotta
it."
show Jonathan this. This is really important for Jonathan to see." And I'm like,
Drop
okay.
it. Pick it. Run with it.
I didn't say any of it.
Okay, all right. Don't call
But
her
yes,
a liar. Don't
so
call her a liar.
all that
Don't-
to say, though, that Wayne has a heart on the Parade of Hearts, and if you don't
is
have the
very cool.
opportunity to go down to the Overland Park Arboretum and Botanical Gardens, he is also in the official Parade of Hearts coloring
Yes!
book.
Yeah.
He is also on
My
the
name's in it.
Yep.
The heart title's in it. It is my page in the coloring book.
Yes.
Surprised that they didn't put it at the museum, the Nelson Atkins Museum.
Well, I mean, I think that there's just so many kind of overlapping, hearts and things like that as far as the landmarks are concerned and all of that. But he's also on the koozie, the official Parade of Hearts koozie. And even though they take a little bit of artistic license on the shirt, we believe he is also alluded to on the official Charlie Hustle Parade of Hearts shirt as well. So you can see his work in a variety of places, and so we're super proud of him. And
Is your
I think
art
it's a
still
really
on
cool
display at the
piece.
coffee shop down in Union Station?
No,
No?
those are all picked up and
Okay.
back on the walls here.
I thought it was pretty cool. I went there 3 times trying to get back there, but 2 times they were closed. And so on the 3rd time, I'm like, we're getting there early enough, darling.
No, they're
And
gone.
I'm going to get back there and go fucking look at them. And be like, fuck yeah, that's my dude. And then we're going to leave. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, the good news is that you can just go upstairs to the bathroom and see several of those pieces on display
Like, yeah, I've seen
in the
this at a coffee
bathroom,
shop. What's your favorite flush
in
now?
the living room, etc. 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 Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for having me down. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you for being a part of the Mother's Day episode of the Savor the Burn podcast.
You're welcome. Stoked to be a mom.
Mm-hmm. You have anything to add, Mr. W2?
I like it.
My dude. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to this very lengthy episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Mothers to be, mothers that are, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that have been. We definitely appreciate all of you because none of us would be here if it weren't for a mother. So no matter who you are, what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, who your mother was or who your mother is, never forget, dear listener, keep on
Keep on burning.
Burning.